So yesterday we talked, or a couple of days ago, we talked about monthly mortgage payment. We also talked about the amount of total interest that we pay altogether in the span of 25 years, 20 years, the overall total interest. So what we're going to be talking to today is about blended payments, and we're going to do some interest calculations here, and it's slightly different from the interest calculation that we did before. So let's just read about our goals, so what we wanted to accomplish today. So we said that our goal for today is to calculate the portion of a regular monthly payment that would go towards the interest, and calculate the portion of the amount that we're paying that will go to the principal, right? Because when we look at our monthly payment, not all of that amount goes to the loan, because part of that will go to the bank as our interest, and then part of that is to pay off the loan. So, and our third part here is to calculate the unpaid balance and the equity after 1 month and 2 months. So it says here, when the financial institution receives your mortgage payment for the month, they will split the payment into 2 parts. So our monthly payment, I'll just put it over here. Part of that payment goes to the interest, and part of that goes to the
payment or
principal. Principal. And that will lower down your loan, or our loan. So here it says here, one part goes straight to the bank without being counted against the loan, and this amount is interest, and the remaining part goes to the payment on the principal. So that's why this is called blended, because it's a blend of interest and principal. Now, if you have taken the Essentials 30S, you probably have seen this formula. Does this look familiar to a lot of us, right? Okay, so this formula is the interest formula. So I is our interest, P is our principal loan, unpaid balance, R is the rate of interest, and then T is the time it takes. So we're familiar with that. That's going to be part of our calculation in a few minutes. Here's the other thing that we're going to do. Anybody has seen this? A is equals to principal plus interest. So this is what I was mentioning here. The amount that we're paying is equal to the interest and the principal together, added together. Okay, so you can see the amount that we're paying is equal to the principal that goes towards to lowering our loan, and the interest that goes towards the bank. So let's take a look at some examples in here. So example number 1. Kendra arranges a mortgage for $195,000 at an annual interest rate of 5% over 20 years. Okay. So the mortgage, the loan, that's the loan that we have, or that person has, it's $195,000. Interest rate is 5% over 20 years. Now, calculate Kendra's monthly mortgage payment if it costs $6.57 per month for each $1,000 borrowed. So here, monthly mortgage payment. This is something we're familiar with, right? Because we've done this in the previous lesson. monthly mortgage payment. So how can we figure out the monthly mortgage payment? Monthly mortgage payment is equals to the loan or the mortgage divided by 1,000 times mortgage amortization rate. Okay, so this is called amortization. Rate. Now, if you're into formula and figuring out some stuff that involves formula, this is probably something that you want to write down on our notes and also certainly on our formula. So we want to do a mortgage payment calculation. We're going to take the mortgage, the total amount that we have to borrow, and then divide that by 1,000 times the amortization rate. So what's that equal to? So our loan is 195,000 divided by 1,000 times amortization rate of 657. Now this is a great thing because in here the amortization rate is given to us. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, right? And then you gotta search it out on the table, right? So in this case, it's given to us. So let's go ahead and calculate that piece. How much would that be?
Is that 6.57 a percentage?
It's gonna be the amortization rate of
It's not the same as that percentage.
195,000. Oops, too much. Divide by 1,000 times $6.57 per thousand. So the mortgage payment every month is $1,281.15. Okay, are we all in agreement with that one? Yeah, that's what we got, right? Okay, everybody got that. So now that we know how much we're going to be paying every month, we're going to go to letter B. It says here, calculate the amount of interest that will be taken for the first payment. Okay. This is the amount of interest only for the first payment, for the first month. So here's what we're going to do. Interest for the first payment. This is the strategy that we're going to do. Interest is equals to principal times rate times time. So interest is equals to principal times rate times time. So again, this is something that we can write down on our cheat sheet, right? For a test and our provincial exam. Interest for the first month. How much is the principal? How much is the things that we have to pay the loan?
1281.
The loan is 195,000 times interest rate. Our interest rate is the percent rate of 5%. So 5%, that's 0.05. Now I'm going to pause right there. And how I got 0.05?
You
Divided by
100.
100, right? Because if it's 5%, it means it's 5 per 100. 5%, I'm just going to write it down. So 5% is 5 over 100. And if you do that, 5 divided by 100, it's going to be 0.05. Okay, 195,000 is our principal. The rate is 5%, so it's 0.05. And then the time. Okay, how long does it take to get this interest, right? So, well, this is first payment on the month. So it's gonna be 1/12. 1/12 of a year. So 1/12 of the year. Okay, so I'm gonna have a little bubble over here so that you can see what happened there. Okay, where did that number come from, and so on. So this 0.05, that 0.05 came from, this one came from 5% divided by 100. Okay, when we do that, now this is the time piece. It's gonna be 1/12 of the year. So this is gonna be for 1 month. This is for 1 month out of 12 months in a year. Okay, so that's why it's 1/12, 1/12. Okay, so now let's go ahead and calculate that piece. So let's check, see if we got the same answer here. Okay. Did you get 812.5? Everybody got 812.5. That means it's $812.50. Okay. So on the first month, so this is the interest for first month.
I got 809.25.
800, oh, okay, we got something different. Okay, let me double check mine.
I used
195,000 times 0.05
83.
divided by 12. You got 83? Okay, let's take a look.
I used that 0.083.
Oh, I see. So you went 112 and then you got 0.83. Okay.
1 divided by 12.083 is what I got.
Okay. So here's what we can do. This is it's a good question. When we go 1 divided by 12, it's going to be 0.083, and if we notice that here it's 3 keep going, right? So those that extra 3's makes a difference. So what we can do, instead of that extra step, right? What we can do is we can just go 195,000 times 0.05 times 1 divided by 12. And then you don't have to worry about extra decimals. Is that okay? Any questions there? So $812.50. Okay, now if you or me, when I first talked about this or learned about this, this is quite shocking to me. Okay, so this is quite shocking to me because this is what I'm saying. Hey, I paid $1,281.15 in the first month, in a month, and then you're telling me that I have to pay $812.50 on interest? So that's a huge chunk of money that goes to the bank right off the bat, right? That's quite a bit of money. So if this is the amount that I paid, $1,281.15 that I paid, interest is $812.50, then how much went to the principal? Huh? The rest of the money. Well, how can we figure out the rest of the money?
You'd subtract.
You gotta subtract. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, you got it. Right? So how much Kendra's first payment will go toward paying down the principal? Yeah, so this is what we're looking for. So yeah, we are gonna subtract that amount. So the principal is equals to whatever they paid in a month minus the interest, $812.50. Okay, let's calculate that together and see if we got the same answer. Okay, I got $468.65. Is everybody okay with that? Like for me, that's on that first payment, the big chunk of the money went to the bank. The bank earned that $812, and then the principal just went down by $468.65. Big chunk. Okay. Do you want the formula for this? Probably, yeah. Okay, so principal is equals to the amount that we paid minus the interest. So this is the formula. The amount that went to the principal is equals to the amount that we paid minus the interest that went to the bank. Good? Take a look at question number 2, or example number 2. Rosa wants to buy a house worth $231,000. She has saved enough money to make 10% down payment. Her bank offers her a mortgage of 4.85% over 25 years. Okay, so that's quite a bit of information. $231,000 is the amount that of the house, but she's putting a 10% down, so we have to figure out how much she's gonna borrow from the bank, the loan, and then the interest rate is 4.85, 25 years. It says here, calculate the amount of interest that will be taken on her first monthly mortgage payment. So, but kind of gave us a hint, right? It says here you don't need any other stuff. It's just, okay, so how can we figure out the amount of interest? Okay, so here's the first step. If I want to know the amount of interest, it's going to be I equals to P times R times T. Yes? Right, that's the interest calculation. Do we know what the P value is? Do we know what the P value is? Well, not quite. We don't know the P value yet, but we could figure it out. Right? The P is the amount that we're going to borrow from the bank. So we know that it's going to be $231,000. We're going to figure out the down payment. So times 10%, so 0.10. So that's the 10%. That's a down payment. Let's figure that out. 231,000 times 0.10. 23,100. This is the down payment. So, okay. So if this is her down payment, how much does she need to borrow from the bank? So it's going to be 231,000 minus 23,100. Okay, so I'm getting here 207,900. This is going to be our principal loan. Okay. So if we add this amount and the down payment, that equals to our house, that house there. Okay, now that we have the loan, the amount of the principal loan, we can now use this.
Is that right? 231,000.
Minus
Oh yeah, my
23.
bad.
Okay. That's okay. Like I could always check mine. Okay, good. Now what's the interest? The interest for the first month. So the principal is 207,900 times the rate. Okay, what's the rate that we're gonna put in here? Yeah, that's right. 0.0485. Everybody knows how to do that? And then the time. Okay, it gotta be first month, right? So it's gonna be 1/12. 1/12. So let's all go ahead and calculate that. Okay, now I got a long string of number $840 and then decimal 2625. We're talking about money here, so it's always going to be two decimal places. So what would that be? It's going to be $840 and 26 cents. This is the interest for the first month. Interest for the first month. Somebody verify that? Is that okay? Yeah. We're going to take a look at example number 3. Are there any questions? No, not so bad. Example number 3. Gina just bought a house. She took $285,000 mortgage from her bank, 4.5% interest rate for over 25 years. Okay, they already gave us the monthly mortgage payment of $1,576.05. Calculate the total amount of money she still owed the bank after she made a first payment. So, how much money does she still owe the bank for? Okay, here we go. What do we know? How can we figure out how much she... This is what she paid. 15, 1576.05. That's her monthly payment. 1576.05 is her monthly payment. We know that part of this money goes to where? Yeah, it's split up, not equally, but it's split up. Part of that is interest. And then the other part goes to the principal. Okay. So, but the question is, calculate the amount of money that she still owes the bank after she made the first payment. This is the first payment that she made. We know as part of that goes to interest, part of that goes to principal. Let's calculate the interest. How much is the interest that she had to pay? I equals to P times R times T. Okay, so go ahead and calculate that. So P times R times T. Okay, so there's no down payment in here, so I can just go, the principal would be 285,000 times R. R is the interest rate, the 4.5%, so it's 0.04. And this is the interest for the month. So when we think of the month, it's like 1 out of 12 months in a year, so 1/12. Okay, somebody verify my answer. I got 950. Did you get 950? Everybody got 950? Am I missing the number? Oh, yes, I am. Thank you.
Balance 68.
Yeah,
0.75.
thank you. Yeah, that makes a difference. We did talk about that yesterday. So 285, try that again. 285,000 times 0.045 times 1 divided by 12. Yeah, no wonder it's like saying nobody's saying anything. Okay, is that one better? So on, yeah, so everyone's good with that. Now that we know that that mortgage payment, part of that went to the interest, how much do you think went to the principal? So why don't you go ahead and calculate that, please? So we said that the P, the principal, is the amount of money paid minus the interest that we paid. It's $507.30. Good? You see here? Half went, half of this amount to interest. That's quite big. Okay, so this is how we've gone. Well, what's the question? Calculate the amount of money that she still owes the bank. So how much money does she still owe the bank? So she started off with $285,000. She started off with $285,000. This amount is gone because that's went to the bank. This amount went towards paying off the loan. So the unpaid balance after 1 month. Okay, so the unpaid balance is $285,000 minus $507.30. So Gina still owes $284,492.70. Still owing. What do you think about that one? Is that okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop right here for now. Okay, it's quite a bit of stuff. Oh, I'll get to your question. Cool. I'm gonna stop right here for now before we move on. Here's what we're gonna try to do. We're gonna try to do some questions in here. We're gonna try to do question just 1, 2, and 3 for now. 1, 2, and 3 for now. Okay? Tomorrow, once we understand all these, we can fill in the table. Okay?
So what? Any homework?
We'll work on that one right now. I'll tell you if there's any homework. Okay. Okay? So